Welcome to the 39th Annual Wall of Fame Humanitarian Awards, presented by the Oklahoma City Public Schools Foundation. Please welcome tonight's co-chairs, Foundation Board Member and Vice President of Cox Business Oklahoma, Ashley Perkins, and 2022 Wall of Fame inductee, former NFL player, entrepreneur, and football analyst, Gerald McCoy.
I seriously think this was set up for you. Good evening and welcome. Gerald and I are so honored to be here to help present the Wall of Fame Humanitarian Awards. This year's extraordinary class of inductees has literally changed the world in their respective fields.
Well, Ashley, what makes tonight even more spectacular is the fact that these honorees are all graduates of Oklahoma City Public Schools.
They are proof that public education puts Oklahoma City students on the pathway to success. Gerald, you know, we're co-chairs, but literally I think he's the chair and I'm the ottoman, but it's kind of a big deal. You're an excellent example of this. As an accomplished entrepreneur and former pro athlete, your dreams began as an Oklahoma City Public Schools student and graduate. I'll let you rep your alma mater.
Thank you, Ashley. So everywhere I go, LA, New York, Tampa, Carolina, Vegas, wherever, it doesn't matter, Dallas, I rep the 405, okay? I always represent where I'm from. But in being in the 405, I have to represent my school, so I am a Southeast Spartan. I don't know if there's any other Southeast Spartans. If you're not a Southeast Spartan, I feel bad for you, but whatever. Anyway. It's an honor for me to say I'm a proud product of Oklahoma City Public Schools, and tonight is a pleasure for me to acknowledge that several OKCPS Board of Education members are with us tonight, as well as Superintendent Sean McDaniel and members of the leadership team. They work hard every single day to ensure our OKCPS students have what they need to pursue their dreams. We invite all OKCPS Board of Education members to please stand and be recognized.
Whether on the football field or in the corporate arena, all successful people are supported by a dynamic team. And for Oklahoma City Public Schools, the team is made up of our Board of Education. The superintendent and team of the Oklahoma City Public Schools Foundation, and each of you. We must have support from our community in order for our students to thrive. They deserve every opportunity to flourish, just like Gerald and our past and current honorees.
We also have several Foundation Board members with us tonight. We value your leadership and service and the investment of your time and resources. We invite all Foundation Board members to please stand and be recognized.
And our students are the reason we gather tonight. As you made your way down the foyer and into the ballroom, we had the joy of hearing the musical stylings from the students of U.S. Grant High School. Instructed by Scott Sunderman, let's give these students a round of applause. We also want to thank our student greeters for helping us tonight. They are a part of the Distinguished Superintendent Students Leadership Council. This group of highly driven students are nominated by their school administrators with the purpose of providing students' input to the superintendent and his leadership team. Please help me recognize these student leaders.
As a former student athlete, I understand the importance of extracurricular activities. As such, the arts play such an important role in the lives of our kids. Studies show that art experiences boost critical thinking, challenging learners at all levels. We are pleased to introduce a special performers from class in SAS, I had cousins who went there, high school, and Northeast Jazz Choir instructed by Angela McKenna.
It's very clear our love is here to stay. Not for a year, but ever and a day. The radio and the telephone and the movies that we know may be passing fancies, and in time may go, but oh my dear, our love is here to stay. Together we're going a long, long way, long way. In time the Rockies may crumble, Gibraltar may tumble. They're only made of clay, but our love is here. Oh, our love is here, but our love is here to stay, to stay. It only takes a moment for your eyes to meet, and then your heart knows in a moment you will never be alone again. He held me for an instant, but his arms felt safe and strong, so strong. It only takes a moment to be loved a whole life long. I've heard it said that love must grow, that to be sure you must be slow. I saw you smile, and now I know. I'll listen to just my heart. That smile made me trust my heart. He held me for an instant, but his arms felt safe Baba-doo-ah, baba-dabba-doo-ay. Where'd you get those eyes? Ooh. Jeepers creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Oh, those weepers, how they hypnotize. Where'd you get those? Ba-doo-ba-doo-da, ba-da-ba-doo-da-da, ba-da-ba-doo-da-da-doo-ay. Those eyes.
Jeepers creepers.
Hey, who's ever running this? Remember that song I was supposed to sing at the end? Cut that. Hey, listen, I don't know how y'all feel, but that was amazing. Wasn't that amazing? All the students, those talented students from the jazz choir class in SAS at Northeast, I even learned that one of these student performers is an intern for the OKCPS Foundation, and they wanted to give you a shout out. I'm struggling to pronounce this. Is Amini? Amini? Amini. They want to give you a shout out, Amini. So there you go. Hey, listen, I don't know about y'all, but I was very inspired. Not that inspired to sing, so I'll stick to being on TV. Anyway, let's keep the inspiration going by introducing this year's class of inductees who join 100 other alumni and community leaders who have been inducted into the Wall of Fame since its beginning in 1985. Start us off, Ashley.
We will learn more about each of these honorees later, but we're thrilled to share a little about them now. Tonight, we're honored to induct 6 remarkable individuals. Kung Do is a Northwest Class and high school graduate, philanthropist, and leader with the genetic and neurological therapies industries.
Dr. J. Don Harris is a graduate of Capitol Hill High School. Oh, yeah. Good. And founder of the Dentists for the Disabled and Elderly in Need of Treatment nonprofit, who has dedicated over 45 years to the field of dentistry.
We posthumously honor Pamela Ruth Henry, a John Marshall High School graduate who, in addition to her lifelong advocacy for the disabled community, broke the glass ceiling with her accomplished career in journalism.
We celebrate Florence Jones Kemp, a Douglas High School graduate with over 70 successful years in the culinary industry and Oklahoma's first James Beard Foundation award-winning restaurateur.
Finally, our unsung hero honorees, Pat and Ray Potts. Although not Oklahoma City alumni, they've significantly impacted OKCPS and our state's education system through their advocacy of early childhood education and philanthropic efforts. To our honorees and their friends and family, welcome to the prestigious Wall of Fame.
We entered into the room tonight. You may have noticed on screen the names of 100 honorees from our past inductions. We like to recognize all past honorees who join us tonight. As you are announced, please stand and remain standing. Audience, please hold your applause until all are introduced.
We welcome past honorees, Madeline Bentley, Dr. Carl Hansen, Jim Loftus, J.W. Mashburn, Dr. Nancy Nagel, Pastor Derek Scobie, Thurman White Jr. Adding one more past honoree to the list is my co-chair, who I have the pleasure of serving alongside this evening, from Southeast High School, Gerald McCoy. I think he was standing up. Thank you all for continuing to support our mission for OKCPS and for sharing your time with us this evening.
We are also grateful to recognize a few special guests who took time to be here in support of Oklahoma City Public Schools this evening.
We welcome State Representative Tammy West, State Senator Kay Floyd, former Governor Frank Keating, former Governor George Nye, former Governor David Walters. Thank you for your service and your dedication. We also pay tribute to the honorees who are no longer with us but have left a lasting legacy. As we turn our attention to the screens, we pause to give them recognition. Thank you. Each honoree had an impact on OKCPS and their communities.
Without question, our schools rely on community partners who play a key role in making a difference in the lives of our students. We express our gratitude to our sponsors who helped make tonight's program possible. Thank you to our diamond sponsors, Edge Productions, KOCO News 5, and Richard and Glenna Tannenbaum.
We also thank our platinum sponsors, American Fidelity Foundation, Les and Donna Brown, the Chickasaw Nation, Cox Communications, the Doe family, Inasmuch Foundation, Love's Travel Stops and Country Stores, McLaughlin Family Foundation, Dr. Nancy Nagel, Eduardo and Jody Sanchez, University of Oklahoma Health Science Center. On screen as you entered the room, we featured our gold, silver, and bronze sponsors. Thank you all to our sponsors for your generosity. Every child deserves a quality education. By being here tonight and supporting the vital work of the foundation, we continue closing the gaps in resources and fulfilling our schools' needs. Here are a few ways you can give to our students and give them even more opportunities. And the first one is so simple. You can become a friend of the foundation by scanning the QR code on the screen on the back page of your program. There you will find the option to sign up for monthly giving. While $10 a month may not seem like it would have a significant impact, it is the total of our monthly donations that are making a difference. That $10 a month over the course of a year can provide over 35 brand new books for the Read OKC on the Go book bus. I am actually a friend of the foundation myself, and that $10 is less than I spent on a Starbucks breakfast this morning, although I very much enjoyed my coffee. Gerald, how about you? Are you a friend of the foundation?
You know what? Actually, I am not, but I am going to pull my phone out right now. And I'm going to scan QR code. Hold on, give me a second. I'm not supposed to walk out, but I'm doing it anyway. It'll pop up. Oh yeah, that easy. Okay, y'all see how easy that was? Now it's y'all's turn. Pull your phone out, scan the QR code, and we can do at least $25 a month.
$25 bucks. $25
a month is not too bad, right?
There's not a lot of phones.
I know. Phones, please. Hey, listen, I'm a large human. I'm not, hey, listen, I smile a lot, but hey, listen, just scan.
I was scared for a second. Our second opportunity are for those of you who are active within organizations or through other businesses. You can support local education and OKCPS Foundation by becoming a foundation partner. As a matter of fact, shameless plug, my company, Cox Business, is a foundation partner. And it's an annual gift that provides much needed support for the foundation's wide array of programs. You can learn more about ways to give and support our work by visiting our website or by talking to a board member or anyone on the foundation team.
Remember earlier when I said the arts make such a difference in the learning of a child? On your table tonight is a one-of-a-kind vase created by the students of my alma mater, Southeast High School. Yes, my alma mater, I'm gonna say it again, Southeast High School, instructed by Joe Cox and Una Anderson's class from Douglas High School. We give a shout out to Tractor's Flowers for donating the floor arrangements for our centerpieces.
Okay, these are really amazing centerpieces. The artwork here is just fantastic. They can be yours to take home. Don't touch that one. I've been here a while. I got to look at them all. They can be yours by scanning the QR code at your table. You can pay online. You may also leave a check, a cash, a money order, whatever's handy at your table, or you can pay as you leave tonight outside at the registration table. We just asked for a minimum donation of $50, but y'all, this is a really unique piece of art that you're sitting right around. So become a friend of the foundation, a foundation partner, or purchasing a vase. Those are simple ways you can make a lasting investment in our students. So please turn your attention to the screen as we take a look at the important work being done by the Oklahoma City Public Schools Foundation.
Leading the mission is the Oklahoma City Public Schools Foundation President and CEO, Mary Malone Tully.
Good evening. Oh my gosh, we have a full room. It is great to see all of you, and it is truly an honor to welcome you to our signature event of the year. Along with celebrating our amazing honorees, we also celebrate the accomplishments of OKCPS and the foundation. The foundation is proud to be part of the monumental growth that is happening in Oklahoma City Public Schools. This work is not easy. Public education remains incredibly complex, politically charged, and too often thankless. With 5,000 employees and 33,000 students in the district, it takes great leadership and expertise to continue blazing a path forward. I am pleased to welcome just the right leader for Oklahoma City Public Schools, Superintendent Dr. Sean McDaniel.
Good evening. It is really a pleasure to be here and to be able to celebrate and recognize the remarkable honorees tonight. The names in your program didn't get there by chance. They are there because of the commitment, dedication, and pure passion for making our city and district a better place for the next generation. I also want to take a moment to thank the members of our Board of Education. Through their leadership, OKCPS is charting a transformative path forward. I wholeheartedly believe we have established great momentum thanks to our board, our faculty, and certainly our staff. Please allow me for a moment to brag on just a couple of things. OKCPS is working to develop a robust plan to address workforce development. Many students opt not to attend college, but we believe that it remains our responsibility to prepare them for success after graduation, regardless of what they choose to do. We're excited to offer career path options for students so they can transition into a career after graduation through internship opportunities, certifications, or credentials while they're still in high school. We have an amazing team working on this effort, and you've likely seen them around town meeting with partners and organizations in order to make this happen. I'm also happy to report that we are 100% on time and under budget with our collection of bond projects. You may remember that thanks to the voters, I think that's just perfect. Thanks to the voters of OKC, we passed a $955 million bond package just about a year ago. We are deep into the design and development phase of our large projects, which is very exciting for our district. It won't be long until we will be able to host groundbreaking ceremonies to kick off the construction phase of this historic and monumental bond package. You've probably heard me say this before. While we have amazing leadership from our board, dedicated faculty and committed staff members, we absolutely cannot do this alone. I can't stand up here without saying thank you to Mary and her foundation team. The district's relationship with the foundation is evidence that they, along with our many community partners, not only value education, but actively invest in the future of our kids. Our community's belief in the transformative power of learning has created a ripple effect that extends far beyond the walls of our schools. And finally, to all of you in the room supporting public education and our district, you have not just been spectators. You have been active participants in the cultivation of knowledge, growth, and opportunity for the young people in our community. And again, to our honorees, your influence is immeasurable. Your contributions are the heartbeat of our entire community. And we are more than honored to have you standing beside us. Congratulations on this well-deserved recognition. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent McDaniel. It is an honor to work alongside you and your incredible team. And I do mean that when I say the work is thankless. We have an incredibly dedicated group of professionals. I don't think we had the leadership team stand up for recognition. I'd like to ask all of the leadership team, Sean's cabinet, who are here tonight, and staff, will you all please stand? Let us give you a round of applause. I'd also like to thank our foundation board chair, Brent Hensley from KOCO, as well as the entire board at the foundation. I appreciate our board members' expertise, engagement, and partnership. I am incredibly proud to work alongside each of them as we strive to make a difference in Oklahoma City. Because of them, we are growing our reach and furthering our mission, so I thank you all. The Oklahoma City Public Schools Foundation is focused on the future. Our goal is to help meet the needs of our school district, all while celebrating the diversity that makes Oklahoma City Public Schools so special. We go about our work by continuing to focus on what is most important, our kids, and our belief that each of them deserves to flourish, keeping us committed to programs and initiatives that are not only aligned with OKCPS's goals, but serve them and our school district in impactful ways. By focusing on providing innovative support for teachers, classrooms, and schools, we forged a partnership with Donors Choose that connects donors directly with teachers, funding supplies and projects for their classrooms and beyond. Since this partnership began in 2014, our teachers have benefited from more than $11 million going directly into their classrooms. I had the pleasure of presenting at the Donors Choose Partner Summit in New York earlier this year to share best practices and our success stories. We remain the largest education foundation partner that Donors Choose has in the country. School Connect is our new model for connecting community partners with our schools, and it provides a network of partners to build long-term relationships with schools to provide volunteers and strategic, focused resources. Together with OKCPS, we're rolling this out now in 13 schools, and we'll be district-wide with this model soon. Thank you to all of you who are already partnering with us, and everyone else, please stay tuned for ways to become involved. The foundation continues leading efforts for Read OKC, our district-wide reading and literacy program, promoting the love of reading for our students and community. There are many ways for our students to get involved in Read OKC, but I'll highlight just a few. Since 2017, over 58 million minutes in reading challenges that we host during school breaks have been logged by our students. What's even more exciting is that increased reading scores are tracking with high-performing reading challenge schools. Our consistent efforts are making a difference. And our ever-popular Read OKC on the Go mobile book bus continues to delight our students. We've provided more than 40,000 books throughout the district to date. And with the launch of our second bus this fall, filled with books for our secondary and newcomer students, we'll now be able to reach our goal of serving every student every year with at least one new book of their choice. I'd like to take a moment. Yes, that's big. That's big. We know that students building their home libraries is a really important step in building literacy. I'd like to recognize our Read OKC on the Go bus drivers, who we are honored to have with us tonight, Reggie Daniels and Lori Merhib. Where are they? I'm not sure where they're seated. Reggie and Lori. Reggie and Lori work tirelessly on behalf of our kids and are completely devoted to Read OKC. They're employees of OKCPS, but they are completely committed to our work. Recruiting, developing, and retaining urban-ready, top-quality teachers and leaders is also essential and one of our core focus areas. Our teacher pipeline programs allow OKCPS graduating seniors and paraprofessionals working in our district to become certified teachers at no cost to them. We have an administrator's pipeline where current teachers earn their master's in educational leadership to become school leaders. We started these unique Grow Your Own programs as a way to address teacher and leader shortages with a particular focus on diversity. They have been hugely successful. We'll have 72 participants in the teacher pipeline program this spring, and we'll celebrate our 20th graduate this December. Our first cohort of the Aspiring Administrators Pipeline Program also graduates this December, and plans are being made for our next group. Most importantly, these programs are allowing our participants to change their lives, change the lives of their families, and change the lives of our students for the better. And with the help of your donations to Coat a Kid, I'm proud to say that not a single child went without a warm winter coat in Oklahoma City Public Schools last year, and they also won't this year. With over 33,000 students in our district, 92% of our kids are living at or below the poverty line. Many families are struggling to make ends meet. This important program keeps our children safe, healthy, and ready to learn. The foundation also works to build advocates for OKCPS. It takes every single one of us to make our schools work. If we truly want to create opportunities and success for all of our children, we must invest our time, talent, and treasure in education. Quality education will, in turn, carve paths for success and provide equitable opportunities for all students. The Foundation's mission is to advance excellence, advocate for equity, and build strong community support for Oklahoma City Public Schools. By joining us tonight, you already play a vital role in supporting and advocating for our students. We are grateful for YP for Kids, a wonderful group of young professionals who advocate for our work. They host the annual Superintendent's Cup golf tournament, and they consistently set and achieve their goals while increasing awareness of the Foundation's mission and vision. We're happy to have them with us tonight to host their first wine pool. Their table will be open after the program next to registration, where we'll also be selling the final centerpieces that you've already heard about. This is your chance to take home wine and roses. So, for just a $25 donation, you'll draw a number and receive the corresponding bottle of wine. The bottles range in price up to $50, and your ticket purchase benefits our work. Thank you to all the YP for Kids members who join us tonight. In May every year, we celebrate Oklahoma City Public Schools District Teacher of the Year with our Stars of Education event. We also stand in solidarity during our Tee Up for OKCPS campaign, a time for the community to come together and not only raise funds for the Foundation's work, but wear t-shirts on One Day Together to show support for our beloved school district. It's a wonderful testament to see thousands in our community and beyond saying, I am an OKCPS champion in English and in Spanish. And finally, each year we host this Wall of Fame Humanitarian Awards event to recognize significant alumni and leaders who've supported, contributed, and shaped our community, nation, and world. A lot is happening to support our school and community. We encourage everyone to get involved in the Foundation's work through whatever means you can, whether that's through volunteering, advocacy, or donations. Every aspect is equally important. With your support, the Foundation will continue offering life-changing opportunities to our students, teachers, administrators, and support personnel. Our community partners mean everything to us as we work to fulfill our district's needs. The Foundation staff members are the direct reason why so much has been accomplished. Our team works tirelessly, and you can tell we're kind of busy, to create a better future for our children and community, and I am so thankful for each member of our team. I'd like to ask them to please stand for recognition. This is the dream team right here. There is more information about all of our work, including many links and videos on our website, so I invite you all to go to okckids.com to learn more. And you can sign up to be a friend of the Foundation there, too, in case you missed the QR code, Gerald. But if I were you, I would have got my phone out when he said to. Public education needs community support more than ever before, and it has truly never been more at risk than it is at this moment. All cities invest in public projects to improve the quality of life and our future, and public education should be no different. If we want to create opportunities for success for all of our children, we must also invest our time, talent, and treasure in public education. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to now turn the program back over to our co-chairs for the induction of our 2023 Wall of Fame honorees.
Thank you, Mary, for your steadfast leadership at the foundation. You and the team put together an amazing event, and you do so many things effortlessly. We must all advocate for strong public education. A strong education system helps our community thrive, and we've shared many opportunities already on how you can get more involved in the foundation. We'd appreciate your advocacy for our public schools. So we're pleased to begin the inductions of the Wall of Fame class of 2023 with Kung Do. Kung, there you go. Kung is a graduate of Northwest Classen High School and currently serves as the president and CEO of BioV Inc., a clinical stage company developing innovative therapies for neurological diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. He has served in various senior C-suite positions for Samsung, Merck, and Lenovo, among others. In addition to his leadership within the private sector, he's an active volunteer, philanthropist, and supporter of many worthy causes. Most notably, he founded the Identifor and Perfectum Foundations, which provide resources and support to young people with autism, their parents, and their clinicians. He also played a key role in the creation of Celebrate the Children, a New Jersey school for children with special needs. His mission to improve the health and well-being of all people has guided him to serve on numerous boards that benefit the nonprofit, education, healthcare, and technology industries. Here's more about Kung Do.
Kung is my brother. He's 2 years older than me, so I've known him all my life.
I actually know Kung through high school. I'm a grade higher than he is, and so I do believe we met during math club.
Kung is a very generous and caring person who's made tremendous impact on so many people. About a decade ago, he's put 43 teachers through college through his family foundation in Cambodia. He recognized the importance of knowledge education to provide a path towards sustained success, not just here in the US, but also in developing countries.
He's a very competitive person. We competed a lot at everything, chess, science fair. I think he had a purpose and a goal in mind in terms of where he wanted to be and how he wanted to get there.
Kung was not normal in the sense that unlike me and others where we were more focused on, the social parts, athletic things, he liked those things too, but he always was very motivated and ambitious about, finding the right, career and really developing a way to not just have a successful career, but also impact so many people in a very broad way.
The three words that I would use to describe Kung would be competitive, intelligent, and determined.
I think Kung is truly deserving this honor because he is a prime example of homegrown talent who's utilized, the education and training received from the Oakland City public school systems during those formative years to help launch his stellar career. Most importantly, he used his education success to benefit others, to basically help lift their potential for better lives.
He always wanted to do some good in the world. And as you can tell by his resume and his background, both on the professional side and philanthropic side, a lot of what he has done some good. He had a goal and he had a purpose. He went down that particular path in an area, number one, that you didn't see a lot of students in, and two, not a lot of students that look like him. And what I mean by that is we're both minority kids growing up. And so for some students to have a dream, they have to see somebody else achieving it.
The fact that he graduated from Oakland City public school systems went to an Ivy League school, and is now on the board of trustees at that university, show that anything is possible. So I think in short, I would say students should aim high, aspire to unimaginable heights, and when combined with a proper work ethic and a willingness to ask for help, they too can, attain similar success.
As he makes his way to the stage, please join us in congratulating Northwest Class on High School graduate Kung Do.
Good evening. First, I'd like to start by congratulating the other honorees. Right? To be mentioned in the same breath as everyone on this list is an honor in and of itself. Second, I'd like to thank the Oklahoma City Public School Foundation and the Oklahoma City Public School System for this great honor. I've had the opportunity to live the American dream. My family immigrated to the US at the end of the Vietnam War. We arrived with $20 to our name and a change of clothes. My father worked on the assembly line for General Motors. My mom worked multiple jobs just to make ends meet. Right? I and my siblings did not speak English at that time. It was the Oklahoma City Public School System that taught us English, and more importantly, it gave us all the opportunities, the starting point to go and pursue our passions. For me, I've benefited greatly from a lot of people who just helped along the way simply because they could. Right? There were two professors at the medical school and the Oklahoma Medical Research Foundation who was intrigued that this little snot-nosed kid was asking these kinds of questions. So they took me under their wings. I started working in their labs doing cancer research when I was 14 years old. And that then just fed a lifelong pursuit and interest in research. Excuse me. There's also Mrs. Willie Reynolds, who let me take her advanced microbiology class the summer before I started high school, because she saw something in me that suggests that this guy actually is curious, right? But perhaps the most important person of all is Mrs. Barbary Keith, who taught math. She was a brilliant person who took no crap from anybody. Right? Most importantly, she truly cared about her students and took the time to talk to them and make a difference. And I remember to this day what she told me. She would tell me, Doe, he would mention that, regardless of how smart you think you are, there will always be someone out there who is smarter and better than you are. And I took that to heart. I have made a life out of that, because in all of my leadership roles, what do? I apply what Mrs. Keefe taught me. I have sought out and found myself and surrounded myself with people who are smarter and better than I am. And all I do is provide leadership, air cover, and get out of the way. Because with that, you can accomplish great things. Right? And then another person who's in the room tonight is Denise Miller. Right? Denise was our school librarian who just liked me for some reason. I just don't fully understand why. And I was known in school as the biggest nerd around, as my friend Paris has mentioned, right? I was known as the biggest nerd. I was also the photographer for the yearbook and the newspaper. And Denise just liked me for some reason. And the fact that she was looking after the cheerleaders, well, that just made me popular. So I had a very unusual high school upbringing, right? That made the biggest nerd in the school somebody that was also very known by everyone, that just gave me a very balanced start. And that's made all the difference. And of course, I couldn't have gotten here without the support of my family. The most important is my wife, Lori Rickles, who's in the room. Lori is a very, yes. Lori is a very accomplished lawyer and law professor who gave up her career the moment that our son was diagnosed with autism. Right? Back in the days when not much was known about it, right? And that was before I helped start Autism Speaks and so forth. Lori, we didn't have much knowledge back those days, so she gave up her career, went back to school, and devoted all of her time to developing Benjamin's program. Lori took Benjamin from being a child happy to be in a room corner, playing by himself, not talking to anyone, to now he's now in college, getting a degree in digital animation, who's upset at giving away for vacation in the summer because his friends aren't around, right? And that's all Lori. Lori's the one who basically took care of the kids while I traveled 500,000 miles a year for work. Also, I'd like to thank my two children. Stephanie is following in my brother's footsteps. She's now working in Memorial Sloan Kettering doing stem cell research. And of course, Benjamin, right? They had to put up with having a dad who's only around on weekends to make dinners for them, right? Then, of course, there's my parents who scrimped and saved just to send me away for college, right? They made all the difference in the world. And there are my siblings. So my two brothers, Hung and Fong, are in the room tonight, and my sister. And they had to live a lifetime of having teachers asking them the question, why can't you be like your brother Kong? Right? And luckily, they're siblings, I mean, they're children, so my nephews and niece don't have to deal with that. But I must tell you that you are now honoring the wrong Doe brother. It should be known that Hung is truly the brilliant one in the family. Right? He has worked on every single drug that has ever been attempted to treat a disease called Pompe disease. This is a disease where it's terrible, terrible, ultra-rare disease. And he has worked on every single drug that's ever been attempted. He and I have started 3 biotech companies together, right? And in our first company, the drug that he discovered there was approved in Europe earlier this year and approved by the FDA just 3 weeks ago. And, right? And our current company, our latest company, I think we will be able to go and address all 60 of these ultra-rare lysosomal storage disorders, where if untreated, many of these kids die before they're 2 or 3. And I think our latest drug for Pompe, I think we can get these young adults out of wheelchairs and off of ventilators. All right. So you heard from Paris that I am a very competitive person. That is very true. I refuse to take no for an answer. So since I have a podium, I'm hoping that I can take a no to a yes tonight. What I mean by that is 5, 10 years ago now, Hung and I wanted to start a prize or an award to recognize the contribution that Barbara Keefe has made to her students and to the field of math education. And likewise, I also wanted to honor Willie Reynolds. I spent months calling up the superintendent's office. Obviously, I did not talk to the right person, right? But then the answer which came back said there was no mechanism in place to create an award or a prize to honor these great educators. So please, make that no a yes tonight. Help me track down these 2 teachers, and let's go and find something, find a way to honor these 2 educators for the benefit of our students. And my wrapping closing remark is this. Gerald took out his phone, he scanned that QR code, And we all know that all of our contributions through that QR code will make a big difference in the students in the public school system. So tonight, my family foundation will match every dollar or commitment through that QR code up to $10,000. Right. So please join me and Gerald. Take out your phone, scan that QR code, and with that, I thank you for this great honor. Thank you.
Told y'all to get them phones out. Congratulations, Mr. Cone. Our next inductee is a Capitol Hill High School graduate, Dr. J. Don Harris. More than 45 years ago, Dr. Harris began his career in dentistry with the focus on providing services for those who are less fortunate. His passion of helping the community led to his establishment of D-Dent, Dentists for the Disabled and Elderly in Need of Treatment, which has provided over $22.6 million in free dental care to the elderly and people with disabilities in Oklahoma. The belief that no one should be denied the right to health care due to social and economic status has led him to donate critical dental services to hundreds of patients across the United States, Central America, South America, Africa, and beyond. Dr. Harris continues to give back to Oklahoma City Public Schools by serving as a passionate leader of the Capitol Hill High School Alumni Association. Let's learn more about Dr. J. Don Harris.
J. Don is well known as a dental philanthropist across Oklahoma, but I know him because of my connection with D-Dent, which is Dentists for the Disabled and Elderly in Need of Treatment.
When I began running for office back in the mid-1980s, I met J. Don, and he was a great supporter.
Working with Dr. Harris is very easy. He's a very humble, low-key, very focused on what he has in mind. And I've learned that he is an expert at identifying talent and then matching it up with organizations that need people to do specific jobs.
He has served over 5 decades on the Oklahoma City County Health Department board. The contributions he's made in that process, he helped them create a foundation, he led them through the pandemic.
Watching the programs that Dr. Harris has founded grow from infancy to what we see today is absolutely a profound change.
I'm so delighted that he's receiving this Wall of Fame honor. J. Don has come from humble beginnings and reached all the way to the top of the dental profession.
My favorite story about Dr. Harris really is how the NSO clinic was created. A school administrator came to him and said, "Hey, I got some kids that need some help and I'd like for you to provide some free care for them." He said, "Well, get me a dental chair and I'll see what I can do."
He had to struggle to get through just the early stages of his life, not having the kind of resources that a lot of kids would have today. And so for those kids that don't have resources, that don't have the kind of family legacy of having that kind of education, for him to march his way through there and be determined is, I think, a great inspiration. That you can do any of these things that you want to do is if you're devoted enough to it, if you're dedicated enough to it, if you believe in service.
Dr. Harris is deserving of this Wall of Fame honor, not for any one thing, but for his body of work. He's balanced his life with giving, and it's the giving that really matters. Those are the things that we carry with us. The message is to balance getting with giving, and maybe the other message is to try.
As he makes his way to the stage, help us congratulate Wall of Fame inductee, Capitol Hill High School, Dr. J. Don Harris.
Well, this is going to be interesting. I have no notes. Oh. But, you know, I just saw in Gerald, Capitol Hill and Southeast and Grant, that was the only schools we had south of the border over there. And I remember this guy. We didn't have anybody like him. They had guys like me. And you can see the difference. So, but anyway, and who put this agenda together? I follow Doe. I mean, he test tubes and chemistry, and I get up here and got to talk about teeth. But anyway, I was given instructions on time, and so obviously we kind of fudge on that a little bit, but not with me. But anyway, how did I get into all this, the industry? I was working in the oil fields. It's an old story. It's repeated many times, but not too many. But anyway, so I was, at the time, dating Shirley, and she was a dental assistant, and I'd pull up my clothes, greasy and dirty, and just, they had papers in the car, and this guy goes by in a little sports car and looks, what is that? And he had his nails all done. But anyway, so I said, who is this guy? She said, that's Dr. B. I said, so that's what's he do? Said, he's a dentist. And I thought, wow, that's what I want to be. I had no knowledge of what you had to do to be a dentist. Physics and chemistry and all that stuff was completely Greek to me. But anyway, I lunged forward, and I was down at OU at the time. I had to get out of there quick. And so I did. I graduated from UCO and did my 5 years of penance there to get a degree. But I'm going to tell you something about my family. You know, we have 6 children. 2 of the children are mentally challenged, and that's why education has been so important to me, especially in special ed. At the time we discovered that we had a child that was afflicted, we lived in Capitol Hill. So we had to drive from Capitol Hill to Britain. We had one special ed teacher. And so, boy, I thought, this isn't right. Now then, we're so blessed. And anybody that gets in that field, I respect them and admire them so much, because it's just paid off for us with our 2 daughters, in which we love, and thank God we've got them. I got one other family story to tell you. This is another one. My father, he was one of 9 kids, 9. And so during birth, his mother passed away, my grandmother. So they named him, you never believe this one, they named him Severe, because she was in severe pain. And they're telling me the story, I'm thinking, well, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. I mean, why would you name a child Severe? And Dad often wondered that too, so he went by the name Rusty. I don't know about that, but anyway. So anyway, and then the old man, my grandfather, remarried and had another 9. So now there's 18 kids. I said, Dad, how'd you live in a house with 18 kids? He said, well, we had a big, long table, and every guy on both sides, and we got spoons and hand soup, and we started eating. And when the old man started, it'd be my grandfather, when he stopped eating, everybody stopped. So at this particular time, he stopped. They paused, and everybody said, Grandpa, they stopped. And my grandpa said, has anybody seen Albert lately? And he said, I haven't seen him lately. Has anybody seen him? They said, Dad, Albert rode off on a horse 3.5 years ago. And the old man said, huh. Just kept on going. So you see, but anyway, that I just thought I'd end there because I'm asked to tell that story many times. But anyway. Well, anyway, that's about it, gang. But I retired for 2 weeks, and I got called by Crossings Clinic to go to work, and I said no. And 2 weeks later, I was calling them. I'm going to say yes now because I was so bored. And so I did. And my crew's back there somewhere. I can't see. But, well, there they are. Yeah, they're hanging. Yeah, I see them way back. That's the Crossing Clinic crew. And what. And I've got several kids running around here. I don't have 9, but you shouldn't do this. I have 22 cousins here too. I'm not going to introduce them. My gang stand up. Can you see out there? Oh, they don't. Yeah, they're very back. We're very bashful. But anyway, thanks. And my grandson Reed, who's a junior at OU. Well, anyway, I've got to say something about education. Especially, it has been my favorite. I mean, I've tried to be a zealot in that area. So I had one speech made out, and Mary didn't like that speech. So, and when the boss says she don't like it, she don't like it. And so I got rid of that. So I'm standing up here. I feel like I'm in my skivvies or something because I have nothing to say other than I would like to say a few things about education, though. That's what this is all about. And my endeavors in the past have all been creating clinics for the poor and the indigent. And it's been such a blessing. And the DDENT, that crew, they work constantly getting us new patients to take care of, and we're out there all the time looking for new patients. And I have been fortunate in going to other countries and getting them started. And I got a lot of stories there, but we'll be here till morning to tell you those stories because they're wild stories. But anyway, the teachers today are facing a paradigm shift from what I went to school when we had the 3 R's. I started in kindergarten, and at Lee School, I was so excited about it. Mother I can remember this well. She had a red and black hat on, and we go in, and a guy is standing there, another student, with pants down to his knees and socks on. I still don't wear socks very often, but I thought, what's he doing there? And she said, Donnie, don't make fun of his pants. Well, anyway, I didn't. But it introduced me to a new realm of dress, which I was never used to. My grade card I got from kindergarten said the following. Don't quote this to anybody, but anyway, it said, Donnie creeps and crawls on the rug. He can't keep his hands to himself. He's very irritating because he doesn't like naps. Who likes naps when you're 5 years old? I mean, you don't do that. So anyway, okay, the last one, I've held this back. And he always loved to be the center of attention. Now, come on. Anybody knows me know that is not true. But anyway, but I'll tell you what. And so I graduated from kindergarten, barely graduated from kindergarten, and go in the first grade. And Miss Johnson, and I was telling the dean that, I can name every one of my teachers. Everyone, because my primary grades, they made such impression on me. And I walked in the class, and Miss Johnson was my teacher, and she grabbed me and rolled me up on a rug like a taco, and put me in the middle of the floor. I'm doing all this stuff, and she said, "See this student? If you ever catch somebody that's on fire, wrap them up in a carpet like this." And I'm thinking, what? What is this all about? So since that time, I have claustrophobia real bad. But who wasn't at that age? But anyway, I can name all my teachers. Miss Jane, the librarian, she told Greek stories. Miss Thompson, Miss Hamilton, I should go on and on and on. They made such an impression on me. So I guess that's why I ended up being a dentist. Everybody had dentures back in those days. So anyway, gang, and I'm so impressed with the classes coming in with me. I have no idea why I'm doing here, standing here. I mean, and the rest of it hadn't even hit yet. But it's a wonderful class, and I want to thank Jim Loftus for inviting me. J.W. Mashburn invited me. I think I've been invited so many times, so I feel like I should be here years ago. But anyway, I thank you for your attendance tonight, and all my friends, my family, my coffee buddies, the docs over there in the corner, Clontz and James and Fowkes. Fowkes, we had to try to find a time for him, but we didn't have a clip on. But anyway, who'd I miss? I missed somebody. Anyway, okay, what?
Congratulations, Dr. Harris. That was our comedy act for tonight. Next, we posthumously honor John Marshall High School graduate Pamela Ruth Henry. Pam led a beautiful life that was focused on family, her career, and advocating for individuals with disabilities. 14 months after her birth, Pam contracted polio, which left her unable to walk without crutches and eventually led to relying on a wheelchair. In 1959, at just 9 years old, she was chosen to represent polio victims and traveled on a nationwide tour for the March of Dimes campaign. After graduating from the University of Oklahoma with a bachelor's degree in journalism and broadcasting, Pam became the first woman news reporter for WKY television in Oklahoma City. She also served on the management team for OETA, hosted Oklahoma Magazine, and worked for KWTV and KOCO television stations within her 30-year career. She broke the glass ceiling for women and people with disabilities working in the entertainment, television, and broadcasting industries. After retirement, she served as the chair of the Oklahoma City Mayor's Committee on Disability Concerns. Pam fought diligently advocating for increased accessibility for people with disabilities until her passing in 2018. Here's more about Pam Henry.
Pam's accomplishments in life actually began when she was about 9 years old. She spent a year with her mother, Ruth, touring the country, talking about the need for polio vaccinations. Pam developed polio, contracted polio, 14 months after she was born.
I remember one scene from probably 1982, 1983. There had been an explosion at an elementary school in Spencer. I remember Pam relaying the little information that we had as carefully and as genuinely and as gently as she could. I remember the professionalism she exhibited that day, and I never forgot it.
I first met Pam Henry probably in the summer or early fall of 1967. Somehow we both ended up as agreeing to be in a teen fashion show to model clothes for the upcoming school year. When Pam came out, what came out was a lovely young woman, but she was severely, severely disabled. And my first reaction was, this is probably the most courageous, bravest person that I have ever met.
In 2004, I wind up being the mayor. One of my first days in office, a gentleman walked in named George Lewis. And when he walked in, he said, I want to resign my position. And I was shocked. I'd only been on the job like a handful of days, and here this person who'd been on the job for decades was wanting to resign. I looked at the people that were on the committee and recognized my good friend Pam Henry. I tell you, within a year or two, she owned the position.
I think that Pam has probably done more than anybody else in Oklahoma to mainstream the needs of the disabled.
There's no question Pam's work changed the design of many buildings across the city. She worked with architects who were looking at how they should design buildings. So when you walk through buildings in Oklahoma City, downtown or in the suburbs, and you see an amenity that might appeal or to help a person who might be suffering with a disability, you might think of Pam, because there's a good chance she had something to do with it.
She mainstreamed the needs of the disabled, and She will show young girls and young men, but young girls in particular today, that people do come in all shapes, sizes, body differences, but what matters is your character and your ambition, and be whatever you want to be.
I think it's important for students to put themselves in other people's shoes and to look at the world through another person's eyes or viewpoint. I think perspective is so important when you're trying to look at life and the world around you and how you might fit into it. And I think an examination of Pam's life will illustrate a life of purpose, of service, honesty, and a person that all of us should aspire to be.
As a disability rights advocate and Oklahoma journalism pioneer, we posthumously induct Wall of Fame honoree and John Marshall High School graduate Pamela Ruth Henry. While we all wish that she could be with us tonight, we are grateful to have Pam's cousin accepting this reward on her behalf. Please welcome Gan Matthews.
Thank you very much for the warm welcome extended to me and to my daughter Judith tonight. Today I have a feeling that the great Yogi Berra would call deja vu all over again. 5 years ago this month, I accepted another award for Pam Henry, my late cousin. In 2018, she was inducted into the OU Journalism Hall of Fame. She was to receive the award in person, but alas, she died a few weeks earlier, so I accepted in her stead and made some remarks. What follows draws upon those remarks and those I made at her graveside service. Oklahoma has always held its pioneer women in high esteem. Why? There's even a statue in Ponca City honoring the early pioneer women. Well, Pam is an example of a later Oklahoma pioneer woman, but she was every bit as much of a pathbreaker as members of that first generation. Many of you know her story. You saw it on screen just a moment ago. How she was stricken with polio as a young child. How, as a result, she could only walk with the aid of crutches. How she became the last March of Dimes poster child in 1959. How, in that role, she traveled around the country urging support for research to find a cure for infantile paralysis. How she met First Lady Mamie Eisenhower and CBS anchor Walter Cronkite, an encounter that later led her to study broadcasting. How she became the first television reporter in the Oklahoma City market. How she later became the news director at OETA. How even later she became the chair of the Mayoral Commission for Handicapped Concerns. All that, I say, is widely known. What you may not know, but what her family and friends knew and admired, was her refusal to play the victim. I knew Pam as a child, and I can say, and others can back me up, is that not once did I ever hear her complain about the hand that life had dealt her. Throughout her life, she kept her sunny disposition. That was a tribute not merely to Pam, but also to her parents, who wouldn't allow her to indulge in self-pity. Here is an example for all of us. So, it is an honor to accept this award to Pam on behalf of her family who knew her and loved her. Final note. Someone once asked Pam if, out of all her travels, there was any place she hadn't visited but deeply desired to. Yes, she said, I'd like to go to the moon. Why, she was asked. She answered, because on the moon, I could walk, unaided, without crutches. We may pray that now, in eternity, a merciful God has allowed dear Pam to achieve that wish, to walk unaided, without crutches. Thank you very much.
Congratulations to Pamela's family, and thank you for accepting on her behalf. Our next honoree is Florence Jones Kemp, a graduate of Douglas High School. Okay, y'all didn't do that for Southeast, but let's go Douglas. Born in 1932 in Boley, Oklahoma, Florence learned how to cook from her mother in her parents' farmhouse kitchen. After moving to Oklahoma City and graduating from Douglas High School, she spent a summer in California learning the basics of business and gaining restaurant experience while working with her family. After returning to Oklahoma City, she opened the doors to Florence's restaurant a few days after her 20th birthday with only a secondhand stove and one table. In 1969, she moved her restaurant to its current location on 23rd Street that has been a staple in Oklahoma City ever since. Today, at 92 years young, Florence can still be found working in the restaurant with her daughter, Victoria. The fresh, homemade Southern cuisine has received numerous awards and national attention, including the ultimate recognition when her restaurant was named a 2022 James Beard Foundation America's Classics Award winner. Florence's was the first entity in Oklahoma to receive this prestigious award. Here's more about Florence Jones Kemp.
Florence is my grandmother. I grew up with her around the house a lot, grocery shopping on the weekend for the restaurant.
I met Miss Florence Kemp back in 1963. Anyone that knew Florence, it was kind of like a magic wand that she'd touch you with, you know, you just fell in love with her.
The values my grandmother taught were definitely perseverance, hard work. She very consistent in everything that she does.
She inspires anyone that's around her. If you're around Miss Florence, you're going to get inspired one way or the other. I mean, that's just the way she is.
She was a single mother at a very young age and taking care of her own restaurant.
Her restaurant says a lot to me because she's the first lady of color in the state of Oklahoma to receive the James Stewart Award. She's been in that business for over 50 years.
In a culinary sense, putting out the numbers that she does is amazing.
She's always willing to give from the heart. She's just Miss Florence Jones every day.
She tells me this story of someone coming from Paris to visit the restaurant and see her because they saw her on television. I think she has made a great impact on the community, the world, just the culinary world in general. Her ways of innovation and longevity have really put a mark on everything.
If you're around her, you're going to get something. You're going to learn something from her. Her experience coming from a small rural town to where she is now. And that's hard work, dedication, not giving up.
Join us in congratulating Wall of Fame inductee from Douglas High School, Florence Jones Kemp.
Good evening. I'm so happy to be here today. I have so many stories to tell until I don't know where to start. But I moved to Oklahoma City when I was in the 6th grade from a small sharecroppers farm where I followed my mother around in the kitchen. I was always under her feet and learned how to cook from her. I used to complain about having to churn the butter, shuck the corn, sift the corn, cut the corn, and several other things that I can't mention. But I didn't know then what an honor it was to do that. And now, I just don't, I'm sure she's so proud of me now if she could see me. So I moved to Oklahoma City when I was in the 6th grade, where I had taken home economics, and I had 2 teachers that took me under their wings at Douglas High School. One of them's name was Mrs. Love, and she taught me how to cook things in pots and pans that I'd never seen before, and how to sew. And she would always let me do the cutting up of the salads, chicken salad, turkey salad, green salad, whatever it was, that they were having like a banquet or something that night at the school. Then she would show me how to sew on a machine that I'd never seen before. And so I learned very quickly how to sew on a machine. In fact, I'd run so quick and did it so well, not bragging, that my mother was a single mother by then. She couldn't buy enough material for me to have to keep sewing. So my teacher, my homeroom teacher, Mrs. Ricks and Mrs. Love, would get material and bring it to school where I would have something to sew with. They had grandchildren, and I made dresses. Made them very fast and very good. So I thought one time I'd be a seamstress, and that I would make dresses and make my own patterns and things, because we were very poor, and we lived from paycheck to paycheck, my mother. And I would go downtown and look at the pretty clothes in the windows, and Johnny Brown's and several other expensive clothes stores down there. And I would look at the dress, and I'd go home and make me a pattern and go to a cheap material store and make that dress. And I made one dress that was made so well without a machine until my mother carried to work with her one day and told them that she made this dress without a machine, and they didn't believe it. So she said, just as soon as I can afford it, I'm going to buy you a machine. And she bought me this machine, and that was one of the happiest days of my life, that I had a machine that I didn't have to sew with a needle. And so I want to thank Douglas High School, Mrs. Ricks, and Mrs. Love for teaching me all of these things that I... Never in my wildest dreams that I'd ever think I'd be standing up here talking to all of you wonderful people, because I was very shy, and I don't do very well by talking to people in public. So I just want to say thank you so much. Everybody that have ever helped me along the way. And I want to thank my mother and father and my siblings, because I was the first of my five. My mother and dad had 5 children, and I was the first child to ever graduate from high school, Douglas High School. And thank you all so much, and keep on praying for me. Thank you. Thank you.
She was amazing. Congratulations, Florence. We culminate our award inductions with our unsung heroes, Ray and Pat Potts, who significantly influenced our community from behind the scenes. After meeting at the University of Missouri, Ray and Pat were married in 1955. Shortly after moving to Oklahoma City, they began their mission toward improving and supporting education through the nonprofit sector. Pat founded the Oklahoma Center for Nonprofits and served as its president and CEO for over 20 years, while Ray co-founded independent energy company PSEC and served as its president and CEO for over 30 years. In 1980, they created the Community Resource Development Foundation to provide local nonprofits with the resources to turn their good intentions into tangible results. The CRDF has since become the Potts Family Foundation, which continues supporting nonprofits focused on early childhood development and education across our state. Ray and Pat were at the forefront of establishing the Oklahoma City Public Schools Foundation in 1984, with Ray serving as the foundation's first board chair. Meanwhile, Pat was elected twice to serve as the president of the Oklahoma City Public Schools Board of Education. A year later, Ray and Pat were the visionary leaders who launched this Wall of Fame program. So you could say they are actually the reason we are all here tonight. Let's hear more about Ray and Pat Potts.
My wife and I have been friends of Ray and Pat's for more than 40 years.
I met Ray and Pat in the mid-1990s when my family and I joined the church, where they had been longtime members and leaders.
Having Ray and Pat in your life means that you're going to get an opportunity to do things in the community, because they have been very active ever since I've known them in trying to make things better.
Of all of Ray and Pat's accomplishments, I think their generosity and commitment to generosity is what impresses me the most.
Ray created a great business in the oil and gas business, and that became the springboard for the creation of the Potts Family Foundation, through which their generosity has really made an impact on our community.
After I retired, Pat asked if I would come and work with her at the Potts Family Foundation. I knew their mission was to support advocacy and investment in early childhood initiatives. It's been a wonderful opportunity to work alongside Pat and Ray to help carry out their vision of improving early childhood for kids across the state of Oklahoma.
Pat served on the Oklahoma City Public School Board. During that time, she was an advocate for breaking down glass ceilings, for providing opportunities for women in administration. I think she had a dramatic impact on the transitional time in Oklahoma City Public Schools history.
There's still so much work to do, and I think Pat won't rest until it's done. And her energy and enthusiasm keeps me going, keeps the rest of us coming to work and doing this work.
Ray, likewise, took on issues that involved the Oklahoma City Public Schools and statewide. He was, I think, the statewide leader for the passage of House Bill 1017 that really had a dramatic impact on pay for teachers and on public education and on the Oklahoma City Public Schools. So all of those things were issues about which people had different opinions. And I think it was a time for leaders to step up, and I think that both Ray and Pat did that.
Join us in congratulating our Wall of Fame Unsung Hero honorees, Ray and Pat Potts.
You know, who should be up here is the better part of our partnership, my husband, Ray. But he just got out of the hospital 3 days ago. He's here in a wheelchair, and he has made this whole journey with me one of joy, and I just cannot thank him enough. And I want to ask him to raise his hand so that you all know he's the reason. Well, we are both so honored to have this opportunity. And, you know, this unsung heroes thing to me makes me think we're not the unsung heroes. Those are the teachers. Those are the educators in our school system. Amen. Well, we were back in the 70s having some real challenges in the school district, and we kind of asked ourselves, why doesn't somebody do something? And then we realized we were somebody. And what followed was service on the school board for me and work on building the Oklahoma City Public School Foundation for Ray. Well, both of us are truly proud of our involvement then and ever since. And I just want to say we love the dedication and positive problem solving that is done by the Oklahoma City Public Schools and the foundation. They continue to help produce outstanding graduates like today's other honorees, and they are, believe me, very hard to follow because they've been such wonderful examples. Well, I'd like to share some insights from this journey regarding the importance of public education. Learning to work and play with kids of different backgrounds as preparation for real success in life, I think, is hugely important. The development of an inquiring mind, the sense of community responsibility, it helps strengthen democracy and belief in positive problem solving that hinge on the how, what, when, and where. We teach all our children. Support of young families physically, mentally, and emotionally helps build a solid foundation for learning. However, there are facts that should concern us right now. Oklahoma needs to remedy teachers' salaries that are $10,000 less than the national average. The student-to-counselor ratio in Oklahoma is 374 to 1 compared to 250 to 1 nationally. Think about that and what our kids have been through. Small class size is another contributor to learning excellence, something in which we have also lost ground. And as Tom McDaniel said, that was something that Ray was very much involved in, trying to increase teachers' salaries and lower class size. We all saw that happen and rested kind of on our laurels thinking, okay, we've made it. And with our lack of vigilance, we've lost a lot of that. We as a state will only move our educational ranking from the bottom 10% to the top 10% when we place greater value and investment in our children's public education. After all, they are our future. I want to thank you on behalf of my husband Ray and myself for this great honor. We have had a wonderful journey, and the public schools have been very much a part of that, even though our kids, they have grown up in the public schools in Oklahoma City. But we had to come from Missouri and missed out on that rare opportunity. Anyway, I want to thank you for your past and future support. Appreciate it.
So please join me in one more round of applause to congratulate all of our Oklahoma City Public Schools Wall of Fame Class of 23. Following the program, I'd like to ask all of tonight's honorees to please come to the front for a group photo. And Ashley and Gerald, please accept the gifts at your table as a token of our appreciation. You all were wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for this celebration. Please remember, if the centerpiece at your table has not been taken yet, it can be yours. And so use the QR code at your table. There's an envelope there. You can see a member at the registration table as you do your wine pull on your way out that our YP for Kids members will be running. Marian Wright Edelman once said, "We must not, in trying to think about how we can make a big difference, ignore the small daily differences we can make, which over time add up to big differences that we often cannot foresee. We know that we are strongest when we work together, and together we can make big changes for our kids. We are all so proud of the positive momentum being created at this moment. This is truly a great time to be part of OKCPS, but there is still a lot of work to be done. I'll say it again, there has never been a more important time to step up for public education than right now. We need to raise our voices on behalf of our students and the educators who show up for them every single day. We need your continued support of our work at the foundation. This will guarantee success to the opportunities that will help our kids flourish. Our honorees tonight and the additional 100 Wall of Fame members that they join serve as proof that OKCPS students are creating positive changes and they're thriving in their communities and across the world. Next year marks the 40th anniversary of our foundation and our Wall of Fame awards, and we are already making plans. So please watch our website and on social media for more details, and plan to join us next year to honor another remarkable milestone class of OKCPS alumni. Thank you all for your commitment to help make the world better for our future and our children's future. Have a wonderful evening, go Thunder, and good night.